All right, so this is the last time I'm gonna try this. I think this is about the third time I've attempted to do this. So if it doesn't work on this one, then I guess I'll just kind of hang it up. All right, this is my last shot. So I think it's on serve in the first set. I think it's 4-3. So if the connection gives out, please forgive me. All right, so if this is not gritty, let me know. If Gene, if you're out there, let me know because I don't want to waste your time and vice versa. There we go. All right. So yes. All right. So we'll see if this works this time around. Zverev serving at 3-4 out wide to the TM forehand. Serve +1 working well there for Zverev. But Zverev better plan to do that the entire match. Zverev has been needing to do that his entire career. Let's be real. Zverev should have been here a long time ago. Again, we're inside everything on the forehand. So again, you can't pretend that you're going to be a great player and sit here and bicker at your coaching staff and everybody else because you ran around your backhand twice, went inside out one time, made that shot weak at best, and then ran around your backhand again, and then hit it the net. And then you're going to bitch at your freaking coaching box. What is that, man? Come on, man up here, bro. Let's go. Nice serve up the tee. Ooh, all right. So 30-15, Zverev serving. I mean, again, Thiem is just a better player. I don't think it should be a shock if Thiem wins this, and I don't think it should be a shock this late in the year if Zverev wins it either. 35 serving, up the tee, clean ace. So 45, nice serve by Zverev. I don't know, something about Zverev, though. I don't know. I just can't buy into it yet. He needs to hit the gym. I know that. Just like I blew out my knee. If he don't put weight on those legs, he's going to blow out something soon enough. All right, here we go. 45 serving. Out wide, missed it. So Thiem's looking at a second. All right, second serve coming. Zverev 45. Let's ride. Come on. Up the tee, doubled. And see, that's Zverev's problem. Zverev's problem has always been the second serve. His first serve's been decent at best, decent. But it's his second serve. He tends to push on that second serve, and he always pushes it long or wide. So no shocker he doubled there either. All right, let's go. 40-30. Serving up. Out wide, nice. Can you do the +1? Yes, he did. So +1 is working for Zverev. 4-4. First set. The battle of the orange headbands. We got Thiem and his Thiem used to be a no hat wearing. Then he went to a hat wearer, and now Thiem's rocking the headband. So it's like the battle of the. I think Thiem's got what the Adidas headband, and oh, they're both rocking the Adidas headbands. Check it out. All right. Yeah. Let's see which headband can pull this one out. All right, 4-4 on serve first. Thiem out wide, the short return, the +1 didn't work. Good night on the went out. Zverev's like, dang. The battle of the headbands. What's up, Gene? Two weaknesses of Zverev's two weaknesses of Zverev's serve. Game, serve and forehand. I would agree, especially the second serve. The second serve can be just preposterous at times. 15 love, 4-4 first, second serve for Thiem. Come on, what's this guy gonna do? Gave him a forehand sitter, and Zverev missed that. Now Zverev's got to yell at that one because you're dumping forehand returns in the net. It's exactly why Zverev will always be Zverev. Those are careless unforced errors. Sitter forehand serve to the forehand, dump it in the net, not good. All right, 30 love, Thiem serving. Out wide and missed it. Second serve, Thiem's looking in. Nice serve to the Zverev forehand. Neutral point here. Neutral. Oh, this might be a long one. Oh, and then he tried to work him and missed a shot in the net. But I do like Zverev's racket. Again, it reminds me of a vintage Prince graphite. I may be too old for it, anybody watching, but if you look at Zverev's racket, it looks like an original Prince graphite, like the mid plus version, or even the 110. Thiem serving at 40 love. Let's go. Come on. Deep. Thiem needs to put it over on Zverev's backhand side every now and then. I understand he's going to win either way, but might as well mix it up, add variety. There it is. He gave it to him that time, and the +1. Got to mix it up. Zverev's been leaning on the forehand the first 4 service games, or the first 3 service games, and he finally gave one to his backhand side, and the +1 worked. Thiem has been really impressive this season on hard courts. People used to call him a clay court specialist. I think anyone besides Nadal that can repeatedly do great things at the French Open, yeah, I think you would need to call him a clay court specialist. I think he's a great player that's finally growing into manhood, but I wish I would see the likes of Shapovalov and Thiem. Who was the lost generation of tennis players? Who's the lost generation? So you had like Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and all these other veterans playing on tour. And then you had a whole crew of kind of lost gen. We should call it the lost gen. Who was the lost gen? Kyrgios. Would you call Jack Sock a lost gen? So you have the next gen, which is now, but who was the lost gen that never made it because of the big 3 in the first place? The lost gen. Who would the lost gen be? Shapovalov still young. Kyrgios, yes. Tsitsipas, Kachanov, Medvedev, Rublev. All right. I think they're still all on the cusp, though, of being current specialists, no matter what, because they're still all kind of young, if I'm reading that correctly. Carlo likes Hatchanov a lot, by the way. Laver Cup. Come on. Watch a bunch of dudes going around in a circle in a merry-go-round act and then chug beer in a press conference afterwards, and I'm supposed to lap it up. No thanks. All right. So Zverev is serving at 4-5. Here we go. Let's see what the orange headband does. To the backhand. I think Thiem missed that. Played it good. Neutral point. Oh, he missed that one, though. And have you noticed how the likes of Shapovalov, Zverev, Thiem, and a lot of others, they tend to jump up and hit their ground strokes. They jump and hit. That leads to a lot of unforced errors, inconsistent, and a lot of different ways. It's best to stay down, wait on your shot, be patient. Yeah, you want to be aggressive and go after your shot, but at the same time, you want to stay down, wait till the ball gets to its zenith or its height, and then take it then. And don't rush it so much and jump at it. So, by the way, this is only the second time in my entire life that I've put a live thing up to my head, because generally the internet connection is too bad here, and I don't necessarily anticipate continuing it. I'm usually on the court coaching right now with my wife, or at tournaments with my kids, but because of the knee, so we just kind of figured we would go our separate ways this weekend. She could take the kids, and I can sit here and check the match out. All right, so Zverev is serving at 30-15, first set at 4-5. So on serve in the first. Zverev serves it wide, so the backhand approaches. Had a bad approach shot. Thiem passed him with the easy one-hander cross court. So just a bad approach shot by Zverev. Should have stayed back on that one. And I'm the first person that'll say move forward, but he moved forward on a ball he gave to Thiem neutral right at the center of the court, and he was just a sitting duck on that pass. Easy pickings there for Thiem for sure. So 30 all serving. Zverev serving at 4-5. Out wide to the Thiem forehand, sliced it in the net. That was the easy sitter forehand. He could have gotten underneath that one and ripped that ball for sure. So Zverev's got a game point, 40-30. First serve, first set. Here we go. Missed it wide, or missed the serve in the net out wide. Let's see if he double faults. He's been a double faulting pro for his entire career on this push second serve. Told you he did double fault. Little spaghetti noodles, dude. Man, my legs are skinnier than his, and I think that's why I blew out my patellar tendon. But Zverev, you know how Federer does a spaghetti commercial for, like, what is it called, Barilla or Berea or something? That should be Zverev's commercial, because his legs look like linguine. Unless he gets in the gym, he's going to get eaten up like toaster strudels. All right, here we go. So deuce, Zverev serving 4-5 wide to the Thiem backhand. Thiem shanks the return a little long, so Zverev has another game point. It's just hard to get so pumped up. I try to pump myself up for these matches. I'm trying to get pumped up for them, but it's just hard to get pumped up for them. Gene Swart says Medvedev is mentally weak. He complains way too much. I get it with the complaining aspect of it. Good point, sir. Plus, okay, so Zverev served it out wide to the Thiem back into the ad court. Zverev moved forward and took the +1, causing the force there. But I wouldn't say Medvedev is mentally weak. I think he channels his energy I think he channels his on-court energy in sometimes the wrong directions. Like, let's look at the U.S. Open, for example. I understand that it's sold media hits to, have the crowd being against you, and then you kind of wrap into it. I mean, I get the theatrics sold tickets in a way, but I wouldn't say that made him necessarily mentally weak. I think it made him strong in a way to try to kind of figure out a way to use the crowd to get into his back pocket in a way. I don't know if that made any sense. So he was being the antagonist, but at the end of the day, he kind of won the crowd, and I think that makes him mentally strong. I don't know if that even made any good sense whatsoever. I don't find Medvedev mentally weak. I think Medvedev is a fighter. These Russian guys, they don't play around too much. I mean, his wife sitting up there in her plush jacket with the diamonds on it, like, what? Looks like you don't want to mess with her either. I don't know. I don't like to mess with Russians. My wife Carla grew up training around a bunch of Russians, and Russians, man, they don't play. They don't play at all. Just grimy, just really strong, steadfast athletes. Not that the rest of them aren't, but the last person you want to meet on a tennis court is a Russian, because these guys will just really just get in your face and wipe your face all over the tennis court with their absolute flat, hard hitting balls. I think I may have played about 6 or 7 Russians in my life, and I think I got, like, just destroyed in every match. I don't know, something about the Russians. But Medvedev, I would disagree there. I do not think Medvedev is mentally weak. I think he is a really solid, mentally sound player. And maybe he's had some weak mental moments, but I think all in all, he's got an A in mentality for sure. Oh, I didn't know that. Zverev's mother's from Russia, but yeah, he plays like a linguine noodle Italian. I don't get it. Like, I mean, and think about it. When I say plays, like, he's got the look of Fabio Fognini. He's got the bandana. He's got that little clean look with his gold chain. I'm surprised you don't see the gold chain with the little circle medallion on it already. All right, so Thiem is serving at 5:30. First set, 5-5. Let's see what Thiem's going to do here with that new headband look. Let's go, Thiem. Come on. Let's go. Serve it up. Oh, up the tee. That was clean. Zverev might challenge that one. That was close. But, yeah, he's going to walk that one off. All right. Come on, pretty boy. Let's go. Carla says Thiem looks like Master Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The little rat with the cane. By the way, I hate Zverev a lot. I will always write negative comments about him. All right. I can kind of feel your pain. I just, again, I think we've seen Zverev. What you see now is what you will always see. Zverev to me is like a plumber going to fix an entire house of plumbing, and he only brings a plunger. I mean, what happens if your piping needs to be redone? Zverev has always been a guy that will bring one tool to fix a job. If his screwdriver is working really good, and everyone else that he's playing, if their tools are working better than his one screwdriver, then he's always going to lose. Zverev needs to add variety to his game. He's been getting to the net a little bit better and pulling off net points more consistently, but he still has a lot of work to do. That was a sitter two-hand backhand return there. Missed it a foot wide, and it wasn't even a really good serve by Thiem out wide. By the way, the radar guns at this tournament, they have to be off. There's absolutely no way some of these serves that Zverev are hitting are 144 miles an hour out wide. I don't know if the guns are juiced or if they're not calibrated correctly, or what. But I think it was yesterday I was watching a Zverev match, and Zverev was serving, a nice kick serve out wide into the ad court, or vice or ditto in the deuce court, and a lot of his serves, looked like your typical run of the mill 117, 120 mile an hour serves, and Hawkeye's busting them out at 144, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Andy Roddick serving out there. That's Linguini Noodle Zverev, and he's serving 144. I mean, I was puzzled by that. Did anybody else see that, by the way? Yeah, and I read here, Gene. Yeah, I know Zverev is the defending champion. I get that, but that just goes to show you that the caliber of this tournament, in my opinion, is not the greatest. To me, you might as well be watching the Laver Cup. Actually, I think this is better than the Laver Cup. The Laver Cup, I think, is ultimate cheesy. But again, you can't tell me that Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal put 100% into this tournament up to this point. You just can't. There's no way. There's absolutely no way you can tell me that. If this was Australian Open, would the matches have ended in such a way? If this was the Australian Open, would Novak Djokovic honestly have been brutalized by Roger Federer 6-4, 6-3? Ask yourself honestly that question. It realistically, would it have happened? Now, I get this match could be on the same type of platform, so I'm not buying conspiracy theories for this match, because I think Thiem should win this match in kind of a squeaker in a way. A close match, he should win it. And nor would I come up with excuses if not, because I really don't particularly care for either player anyway. If I had to choose one, I would grab Thiem because of his one-handed backhand, even though he jumps at it so much. And also, again, my wife Carla thinks that Thiem again is Master Splinter, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle master himself, the gutter rat. But the Linguini Noodle or Master Splinter, I just, again, I can't get too pumped up about. And by the way, both of them hit these ground strokes, especially on the forehand side, where they hit and they follow through back here, boom, and they come around the head. I understand that Rafael Nadal's done that, and he's done it his entire career. Before Rafael Nadal, how many tennis players hit the ball, hit it, came around the back of their head instead of going across the body and around, like elbow at target in a way? Instead of going boom, elbow at target, it's more like and around this way. Well, Nadal always did that. Ask his Uncle Tony why he did that. He met the ball late his entire life. Talking about Nadal, typically a right-hander, but plays tennis left. He developed a really incredible way of meeting the ball late and whipping the racket around his head to cause the redunculous spin. And since then, people have tried to mimic that. How many of you seen Roger Federer now in the midst of points where he has a clean sitter forehand, he could just step into and just rip through the ball, and he frolics it like this. It's a fairy looking forehand up the line that has no pace on it and just a lot of spin. Nadal's game is spin and altitude on the shot. These guys are not. So when they're hitting these balls and following through around the side of their head, I mean, they're not Rafael Nadal. These are Linguini Noodles. They don't have the muscle to pull that off. So they need to hit the ball, hit through the ball, take it early, get into the court, start the offense earlier, stop the 75,000 shot rallies, and move into the court. So Thiem right here at break point had an opportune point to step into his backhand and drive it down the line. Instead, he spent 2 extra steps, danced around it, went for the inside-in forehand, and dumped it into the net. That's why these guys will never be great, in my opinion. If you can't save yourself the extra footwork, step into the backhand and not dance around it inside in and inside out so much, you're not going to be the best ever. You're not going to win majors as long as there's anyone else in front of you that doesn't do that. How many times can we count where either one of these guys steps around their backhand and hits the inside in or inside out forehand? Here we go. Zverev serving at break point, 30-40. First set. This is actually a set point. So set point for Thiem right here. Zverev starting at 30-40. Let's see who's the first. Oh my, was that a double fault on set point? Second serve, got him. Zverev's coach now. Message to you: work on your boy's second serve. His first serve isn't that terrible. His second one is not dependable at all. Okay. Adam West. What's up, Adam West? I haven't seen Adam West in forever. So, Adam West, if you didn't know, the only reason why I'm doing this isn't a future habit. I blew out my knee and I'm stuck here. Anyway. So, first set's down. I think that Thiem will run away with this match in the second set. He's a better player. Look at this difference in the size of Thiem's legs in the past 2 calendar years. From his calf muscles, from his quads to his hamstrings to his rear end, his buttocks. He's developed a lot more legs. Zverev's legs have continued to be a letdown. Again, I'm a living example of small legs in the game of tennis when it comes to a long career. If you don't develop the legs, you're prone to ankle sprains. Gee whiz, how many ankle sprains? Bad ones have I had? Bad knees. I've had so many. Hip issues. One player I was shocked that when he started having hip issues was Andy Murray. Andy Murray was such a developed player in the legs, from quads, hamstrings, big football or soccer player. The hip injury for Murray was difficult to watch him go through. Not that I was ever a big Murray fan. I never even thought of him outside of being kind of a whining baby type player. No disrespect at all. He deserved to be that 4 guy, but I really hated to see Murray go through that type of hip injury, given that he put so much work into the legs. Yeah, his butt is so big. See, Gene, yeah, you saw that. And yeah, I mean, hey, I didn't call that out. My wife called that out, but I did notice that. You're like watching that, you just see this big old butt. But I mean, that's good though. That will serve him well in the best of 5 sets. So especially on clay. So Nadal and Thiem might have a butt off. They might like just compare asses. And Zverev chunked the racket. What's the need for chunking the racket anyway? There's 27 million kids in this world that can't afford a tennis racket and would love the opportunity to simply learn the game with no shoes. And you're going to throw a brand new tennis racket across the court like a whiny brat. That's another reason why I don't like Zverev. Jeez. Racket smashers. Who needs it? Go smash your rackets elsewhere. I mean, seriously. Redunculous. Yeah, I saw that. Adam West. I saw Tomas Berdych retired for tennis. Talk about one of the best players ever that never won a major. That's another player. Adam West, you watch Carla and I show when we do them, kind of the pre-recorded deal. So this is on the fly, but Carla likes a lot of the big Russians and Hungarians and so forth. So Tomas Berdych was like Carla's man for so long. She only didn't like him when Thomas Berdych played Nadal in the final of Wimbledon. I forget what year that was. But Thomas Berdych, yeah, we'll miss him for sure. He, in my opinion, could be the greatest player that never won a major. Could be. Zverev is the WTA version of Alina Svitolina. I think Zverev is the human version of a linguine noodle. I think that's giving him too much credit. I just, yeah. Sorry, but Zverev, to me is a baby. He's a little boy and he needs to man up. He should have gotten popped on his head a little harder from somebody when he was growing up because he's soft. He's just soft. He whines, he throws rackets, he puts on his little bandana, he gets his panties in a wad and all this other whatever. Who needs it? TM is going to methodically, I would think, walk through him at this point. What's up, Carteri? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. TM serving 15 love. Second set. Missed the first serve. Was going for the forehand to Zverev. Just didn't happen. All right, second serve. Got to look out wide to the backhand. Surely. Oh, gave him a sitter forehand serve +1, but a neutral ball right at him. Neutral, and we're still neutral. Still neutral. Oh, it's a push fest. Oh, another neutral shot. He approaches on a neutral ball. Did he miss that? That looked long. I do wear contacts, so it might not have been long, but it looked long. Yeah, even TM's thinking like, that was it was out. Poquito, small. Little bit out. Small. So Master Splinter is up 30 love. I mean, sorry, TM is up 30 love. And by the way, Carteri, I'm not going to do this forever. I'm just stuck on this chair. All right, here we go. TM up 30 love. 0-0, second set. Serve out wide to the Zverev forehand. Zverev misses the return, so it's triple hold point, 40 love TM. So I'll see. I don't know if my video is going to cut off, but I'm going to see if Carla will jump in so I can see how it's at a commercial here. So I'm going to see if Carla will tell me how my boys are doing in their tennis tournament across the bay. Oh. What's going on? Boys are waiting for 3:30. That's when Chris's final is, 3:30? Yeah, mixed doubles? Oh, so they're playing regular doubles too? No, it's usually my bag. I usually let them use it. I don't know if you even done with it. Yeah, like you did it. You're done with that, right, Chris? You're done with the juice? You don't have anything in there. Who does Chris play in the final? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, what? Who does Chris play in the final? Okay, from Florida. You know the Florida kids are always way more intense than the Alabama kids. Well, does he plan on winning? I hope so. I told him. Don't think that because it's a Florida kid, you're gonna lose. Has he seen the kid play? None of us have, but I've seen him. He destroyed. I looked at his scoring. He destroyed the kid he played like 1-0. What, does this kid have buys up to this point? No one watched him play prior to this? Say that again? No one watched him play his previous matches up until this final? No one. No, I have not because there were so many kids on the court. All right, well, tell Chris, let's go. Dig deep. Look at your little guy. Where? Look. He's hitting against the wall? Yeah. How we get down? How we roll? He has not stopped. Go get your ball, Justin. Where's the little guy? The 4-year-old's hitting on the wall? Or who is that? Jonathan or Chris? No, Chris and Jonathan are hitting over there. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. And then that's the little guy right there coming. All right. Well, big things. We got finals, so hopefully they dig deep. I'm tired of sitting here on this couch. Yeah. Okay. All right. Adios. All right, babe. How are the girls doing? They're fine. Just I think they're actually watching an old Bethany Maddox Sands match up there. Okay. So let me know when Chris's match starts. I will. I'm gonna go touch my phone. It starts at 3? 3:30. So this is the finals of the tournament, right? Yeah. All right, let's roll. It's the first time I'm actually making no, Justin. Come on. He scrolls a lot, by the way. Good. He has not stopped chasing this girl. At 4? Yeah, she's like maybe 10. That's cool. Yeah, start young. That's how we get down. Reproduction. Not shut up. All right, I'm just playing. He's 4. He's good though. Yeah. All right, take care. I'm gonna charge my phone. All right, see ya. Bye. All right, so back to the match. So it's kind of cool. I'm watching this match, but at the same time, my two oldest sons of 5 kids are playing a tournament in Fairhope, Alabama, which isn't terribly far from here, about an hour and a half. All right, so 1-1 second set. TM serve misses the first. TM serves out wide to the Zverev forehand. Once again, TM misses the easy forehand. All right, so I think the connection's still good. I think we're all right. Adam West. When Novak and Nadal retires, Zverev might win a slam. How about this? When Novak and Nadal retire, Zverev will still never win a slam. No way. No way. I would think the likes of Borna Koric or Basilashvili or TM, Kyrgios for that matter, would win a major before Linguini Noodles Zverev. Just saying. Nice little slice, easy chip backhand push long by Zverev. Someone earlier called Zverev Zverniaki. Was that right? Who was that? Someone over here had a name for Zverev, or was it Zverev? Yeah, it was like Wozniacki and Zverev mixed into one name, like a morph between Wozniacki and Zverev. Another easy forehand miss long by Zverev. You know, he gets perturbed and he looks around, he looks at his racket, and he looks at his camp. Like, what is your camp going to do for you? Why does any player do that? I mean, geez, you look over at your camp, bicker about something. Djokovic is pretty good about doing that too. He like looks at his camp, like, give me my bottle, I want my stuff right now, bro. You're like, dang, bro, chill, ease up, bro. Oh, pretty good point there. Zverev on a full run cross court couldn't quite get to the low ball hit by TM, so pretty good though. Yeah, Carteri agrees. Zverev does lose his cool way too fast, and the problem is when we lose our cool and anything in life, tennis matches, at work, with your kids or whatever, you lose your cool. Generally, you're the one that ultimately looks like the buffoon or the idiot, and that tends to happen to Zverev a lot. I have look in 2020. I'm going to be a Djokovic fan because I really want to see him close on the gap between Federer and Nadal. I know he's close, but 16 and 19 and 20. I want him to be right there because as time progresses, injuries are going to be more prone to happen. So I would like to see that window close. Djokovic, though, I'm going to hate on him for a minute. Djokovic does lose his cool a lot as well. However, Djokovic tends to lose his cool, but that's when you have to watch out. Well, when Djokovic gets mad, that's when you're going to get beaten generally. Same thing with Nadal. Nadal gets irritated, watch out. But there are certain players that get irritated and, yeah, then they're just done. Like my oldest son, Jonathan. He's great at that. He can be playing the best match and be up. He can be up a set in a break. He double faults. Sometimes he'll just get his panties in a wad, start just spitting out pink foam balls or something. And he'll just get all upset, start slamming balls all over the court. And just before you know it, he goes from up a set in a break to down a break, lost the second set, and get bageled into third. I mean, my oldest son is great about doing that. All right, so 2-1 Zverev serving, or 1-2 Zverev serving second set. Nice ace up the tee, 15 love. So let's see how many first serves Zverev misses and then follows it up by a double fault because he doesn't have a second serve. Okay, here goes an opportunity right here. So Zverev serving at 15 love, 1-2, and he's got a second serve. Let's see if he double faults with this push fest second serve. Let's see what happens. Oh, he got that one in. Oh, I can't believe it. So neutral, backhand to backhand. Oh, Zverev's moving a little more than TM. TM's on offense and misses the one-hander up the line into the net. I'd be curious to see if TM jumped at that shot. I didn't have a particular chance to look at that. All right, Mr. Linguini Noodle, here we go. Let's go. Get up there. Go. Nice serve out wide. I missed the return. A forced there, though. Good serve by Zverev. Zverev is going to choke. Gene, I don't think he really had an opportunity to eat in the first place. You know what I mean? I mean, TM is just a better player. Right now and always has been, honestly. Um, I don't see how Zverev is going to get any better without adding variety to his game. Who do you have? Lindell not terribly long ago. That didn't end too well, and he's bickering around because Lindell brought his dog to a practice session. I'm like, just let me pet the dog. I don't care about you bringing a dog. Let me pet the dog. Maybe that'll bring some positive energy to my workout because obviously I'm so much a baby and I throw my racket, chunk it all over the place. Let me see the dog. Maybe that should be Zverev's way of getting better, is to bring a dog to the court. That way, if you ever want to throw something, you just look at the dog and you'll remind yourself, like, hey, if this racket was actually a dog, would I throw the dog and then not throw the racket? Because racket smashers just suck. All right, Zverev, nice serve out wide. Or excuse me, I get the names mixed up because I don't even watch. What's up, Billy? You all right? I like that hairstyle you got going on. Looks good. Looks like your mom did that. All right. TM serving 15 love on serve, second set. TM up the tee to the Zverev forehand. There's TM hitting one of these loop-de-loop shots, looking like Nadal, but it's not. Cross court to cross court. TM misses that way too acute of an angle into the low part of the net. Anyway, bad shot selection, in my opinion, there. You know, you're going cross court to cross court from deuce court to deuce court, forehand to forehand. You got a wide open court, and then you try to go for a crazy acute angle to ooh and all the crowd with one of these type of shots. Just go through the ball and take it up the line. Zverev unforced error deep, so TM will be serving at 30-15 on serve in the second set. I'm reading over I won't repeat that, TM. I mean, I won't repeat that, Carteri, but I agree with both of you that both of them are that. I'm sorry. I don't think either one of them. I would think Zverev is a little more of one of those than TM is. I think TM has a little bit more manhood in him, but Zverev needs a lot of work. All right, so we got a neutral point. 30-15 TM. Okay, look, let's count these. How many? Let's count how many forehands that TM and Zverev combined hit off their back foot, falling away like this. Picture that. So we want to get set, hit, boom, go through the ball. Wow, go through the ball. But let's see how many they miss where they get set, hit, meet it late, and then carry it behind their head, racket and arm here. Instead of here, here. And see how many they just carry and moonball long. Push the ball tennis, push the ball tennis, push the ball tennis. Oh, it looks so cute. It looks so cool with my headband to go swoosh out. Whatever. Who needs it? Give me some vintage Sampras and see if you see that. I do think that Sampras later on in his career began to do a little of that flicky stuff too, but it's tough to do that with an 85 square inch head like the original pro staff that Sampras played with this entire career. It doesn't give you a lot of string bed to hold that ball on to kind of throw it across the court. And then the frame, what was the original pro staff 85 was it was graphite and something mixed. It was graphite and Kevlar, I think. The original 85 pro staff, if anybody can remember that. I used to play with it much before, long before college. But 85 square inch head, if you hit with that racket and you hit the ball, as soon as it meets the strings, it is gone unless you're using like a natural gut and you're loosening up the natural gut in, I don't know, the low 50s. Then it'll hang on your strings a little bit. But man, to hit with that racket and to pull these shots off, I mean, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for sure. So deuce, TM serving, neutral point in play. Neutral, okay, so TM is holding true in the center. Zverev's moving and then dumps the ball in the net. So TM is doing a better job of gaining offense in these points earlier. He just is. If you watch TM, if you kept this mileage count on footsteps taken throughout this match, I guarantee you TM has taken about 60% less, if not 70% less footsteps. Watch does that matter? Because over 2 out of 3 sets, or even 1 set or 2 sets, the more footsteps you take, the more tired you are going to become. Good serve out wide to the Zverev's backhand by Thiem. Thiem holds for 3-2. But the way I train a lot of our students, especially in the hot months of the summer, and you have to be careful about training people when it's too terribly hot. But we kind of try to push not the envelope too far, but just stay right under the threshold of pushing too much in the summer. So that way, when long matches or 2 and 3 matches take place in the same day, and I feel like at least my kids, and both of my oldest boys now are both in finals in a tournament just across the way. And I always tell them, if we can train really hard, if we can train hard, and push in the summer, then when we're playing these fall tournaments and when high school tennis begins in February and goes 3 months, then we don't have to worry about anyone beating us by fitness. They may have a better game, but what happens when you split sets and go deep into the third set and summer has just begun again? You know what I mean? So fitness is everything. Legs. That's why I say Thiem is going to win this match. Number 1, he's a better player. Number 2, he's a stronger player. Number 3, he is now a more developed player. Look at his rear end. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Look at the muscle mass that he's put on in the quads, the hamstrings, and the rear end, and there's your answer. Unless the linguini noodle brings his one and only screwdriver, yes, Zverev, the screwdriver wielding player, and that's all he has is a screwdriver. He's not going to beat anybody that has a garbage can lid to block the screwdriver, an electric drill to drill through your face, a hacksaw to cut off your ear, and then like a bottle opener to crack off your kneecap, and then a wine opener to gouge out your eyeball. You know what I'm saying? Zverev just has a screwdriver, and until someone coaches him on what to use more than that one screwdriver and how to be patient, he's always going to be the same Zverev. That's it. Yes, I agree, Gene. Zverev does need to go to the gym more. So do I, though. Easier said than done. You know what I mean? It's easier said than done. Even when I had time to go to the gym, I was one that just I always skated around my leg workouts because I never got my legs thicker. They always would just get hard and sore, and I always just blew off the leg workouts. Probably why I blew out my knee and always ruptured my ankles growing up. All right, Zverev serving at on serve, 15-love, second set, neutral point. Thiem's on the move here, so Zverev. But Zverev gave him a neutral ball back, and then the definite unforced error by Thiem into the net. So Zverev did a good job at moving Thiem there, gained the offensive position early, and Thiem dropped the forehand in the net. So Zverev serving at 30-love, on serve 2-3 in the second. Up the tee serve. That was close, though. That might be a challenge there, but Thiem does not challenge that. So Zverev serving at 30-love. 2-3 on serve in the second. Second serve in. Didn't double fault. Go figure. Neutral point. Zverev has a short ball. Nice cross-court ball. Overhead. There you go. Nice tactics there by Thiem. So and again, that's the problem with Zverev's second serve. It's almost like it's become mental. When Zverev misses his first and he has a second, 3 things happen. Number 1, the double fault, which is very common. Number 2, he tends to push the ball with spin and doesn't really place it. He just kind of sits it in the court, hopes it goes in, and it leads to a quite offensive return on the other side of the net. So he's always kind of questionable on that second serve, whether he can even get the ball into play. Neutral point. Oh, Zverev came to the net. Got lucky. Thiem hit that wide. That would have been a great shot. So Zverev serving at 45 on serve in the second. 2 game points for Zverev. I'm just checking the scores of my son's match. All right, we're still good. Yeah. All right, so second serve for Zverev, serving at 2-3, second set. Here we go. Double faulted. There it is again. I wonder how many doubles. Can someone tell me how many double faults Zverev has had this match alone? I would like to see how many double faults Zverev has had this year, and whether or not any coach that he thinks about hiring moving forward wants to think about working on that. I know most coaches that we deal with, at least that we know, they don't even like coaching the serve because hold on. Neutral point. This is a game point for Zverev. Zverev is on the run, and so it's going to be deuce. So if you look at a lot of these points, Thiem is staying, 2 or 3 feet on either side of the center hash mark, and Zverev's running around like a gazelle left and right. Never a good thing when that happens. If you're this guy over here doing this, unless your name's Rafael Nadal, it's not going to end up very well for you. So Thiem is sitting here and stepping into his shots, not moving very much, and this guy's just running them down like a retriever. So, but yeah, I would say Zverev looks like Wozniacki today or every day. Oh, and Zverev just misses the easy overhead long. So here we go. Zverev can't serve. He has no coach because he bickers about Lendl bringing his cute little puppy on the court. I just wanted to pet the puppy. I just want to pet the puppy. Tell the puppy to get lost. I want to pet the puppy. Gonna pet the puppy. Got some positive energy. Linguini noodles Zverev. All right, so Zverev serving at out. Good serve out wide. Okay, force the air from Thiem back to deuce. See what happens here. But back to what I was saying about coaching and why it's not rare these days to see younger players without a developed first and second serve, and the mindset of why each one is so important is because a lot of coaches don't even want to mess with them. And a lot of parents of younger good players are like, no, don't touch my kid's serve. I like it the way it is, because they don't know what they're talking about at the time anyway. All right, so Zverev, I want to say, hold on. I have to make sure. Okay, so Zverev, yeah, he hasn't. I wasn't looking at that point. So Zverev just held. No, he didn't. It's add-in Zverev's second set. So this is game point for Zverev. But most coaches that we work with, they're happy when a parent comes to them and says, no, don't touch my kid's serve. They're happy about it because they don't want to deal with it anyway. All right, so back to deuce. And I'm not kidding about that. Sometimes Carl and I will have new junior students that have a decent ground game, at least from the ground, both wings, forehand, backhands. But you get them to the net, they don't know what's going on, and you get them back to the baseline, they have no clue how to throw a ball or a throwing motion. They're just clueless. And then you talk to their parents about it, and they're like, oh, don't touch it. It's perfect. You're like, oh. Catch 22. All right, second serve for Zverev, deuce. Chris is warming up. He got the serve in. There's that frolicking reindeer jump forehand from Thiem, one of these. Jeez. He does that. Why does anybody? Again, I'm not going to get back into my tangent about hitting balls like that, but step into the ball and take it. Off the back foot. Who does? We had a nickname for someone this past year. Back foot Sakari. Back foot forehand Sakari. Thiem looked like Sakari on that shot. There you go. Thiem steps into the one-handed backhand return. Neutral point. Zverev's working him neutral with the high spin. Thiem just jumped at his backhand. Surprised he didn't miss that one. He jumped at that one and missed that one. You can't jump at your ground strokes and expect them to go in time and time again. When your eyes are on target, which is the ball, and you are trying to see this ball to your strings into the sweet spot, okay? My eyes are locked on the ball. My racket is my weapon, and I want to meet that ball head on. Now, what happens at the last second if I jump up off the ground? My racket goes up with me. It's attached to my arm. It's attached to my body, right? So here comes the ball. Here comes my mind. I'm locked on target. Here I come at the last second. I lift my feet off the ground. Well, my racket goes with me, and I hit the ball at the bottom of the frame. In order to overcome that, I have to whip it up off the bottom of my strings and put spin on it. Okay, well, good luck with that. Too much. Who needs it? Just hit the ball. Go get Sakari to coach you. Men's tennis. Come on, let's play. 1, 2, 3. Serve +1. Let's get busy. Come on. Get in and take the ball. And hits it neutral. See, there's too much hitting going on here. Too much. Misses the. So Zverev on this point totally screwed himself in the rear end. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Coming in on a neutral ball is redunculous. He had the opportunity to go ahead and place his approach shot in Thiem's corner to either side. They were neutral to neutral. So Zverev's neutral, Thiem's neutral. and Zverev got the short ball. So instead of Zverev coming up, thumping it into either corner, therefore making Thiem be the one on defense to run either ball down, he gave him a neutral ball right at the center and approached behind the neutral ball and exposed 2 passing lanes on either side. Just saying. Not good tennis there, and therefore he got broken. Thiem serving at 4-2 second set. This match is becoming a runaway. Thiem is treating this young man like a schoolboy. Placement, he's running around the back end, the inside out instead of the inside in. He has the open court. Had a half volley there. Thiem stepping around the backhand again. Missed the inside out wide. He had a clear look at that inside in up the line. Or he could have hit a drop shot there too, because Zverev was 27,000 feet behind the baseline, like Nadal Linguini Noodle Jr. See what happens. And I like the chair umpire. He does a good job. He's been a chair umpire for a long time. All right, so Thiem serving love 15, second set, up 4-2. Wide to the Zverev backhand. Here comes the dropper by Thiem. Can Zverev get there? Yep. Oh, but Thiem, hey, nice shot there. Okay, I'll give you that one, young buck. Now do that more. Add variety more, and you might have a shot. And if you have an opportunity, if you're watching this and you just watch Thiem hit the drop shot, he didn't put any body into it. He just kind of stood straight up, like Homo erectus, like straight up, and just kind of stuck his racket down. So he didn't disguise it very well, number one. Zverev read that from a mile away, used his speed and got there. So good point, but too bad for Zverev. There's only too few and far in between good points for him. So forehand to forehand, neutral to neutral. Thiem with the inside out, a wide of the Zverev backhand pulled off the point. So Thiem is about to close this match out. I'd be shocked if Zverev wins another game. It looks like Zverev's deflated. Looks like he needs to ask mommy for a post-match meal or something. Again, to be his age and to have been around this long, we should see better things out of him already. We should, for sure. All right, Thiem serving 4-2, 15-30. Second set. Nice serve out wide. That's a clean ace, 30-all. And Thiem has developed too. Thiem has been around, a year or two longer than Zverev, but Thiem has developed. He doesn't jump as much. I know we were just talking about Thiem jumping at his ground strokes a lot. And a lot of these younger guys jump and hit these days. I don't know if it's a little mixture of young ego and maybe if it's some more new school coaching, but I don't know any coaches to this very day that I ever sit down and talk strategy with or point tactics or anything. I don't know any coach that I ever network with that talks about jumping and hitting the ball as a means to consistency. So I would open that up for discussion and comments. Does anyone know of any coaches that actually coach that it's in your best interest to jump and then hit? And here Thiem is with the break point. He's serving now at 30-40, second serve, up a break in the second at 4-2. So Thiem just dumped the ball in the net. And again, when you hit the ball off of your back foot, so here comes the ball towards me. I want to step into the ball and go forward. I want to drive through the ball. Another one of those, here comes the ball. I should have met it out front. Instead, I met it late, carry through behind my head like this, dump it with almost push amount of power into the net. You got to go through the ball. Let's go. All right, so neutral point right now. This is a break point for Zverev. Thiem is on defense now. Zverev has got him moving, but misses the easy forehand. You can't miss points like that. You can't miss easy balls like that. He knows it. He knows it. Just pet the puppy. Go pet the Lindell puppy. Pet the Lindell puppy. Don't throw your racket. All right, let's go. So deuce. If Thiem pulls this game out, I think that's the pen in the balloon. It's gonna pow, pow. It's gonna be done. All right, Thiem starting a deuce. Missed the first. Yeah, and I just read Adam's comment over here. Hold on, second serve, short ball for Thiem, and Thiem hits it wide. When I see stuff like this, I'm sorry, but when I see a ball that landed so short, just the center ball for Thiem to just thump, he could even thumped it up the center of the court. Sometimes I think this is scripted. I know it's not, so don't shoot me. But I mean, I mean, geez, are we like behind the scenes asking for a third set? How do you miss a short ball that bounces at the tee and the service line 7 feet wide? Don't get that. That's where I'm like, okay, is Vince McMahon back there writing the script or something? All right, so break point Zverev. Thiem's got another sitter ball, puts that one away. Okay, back to deuce. But yes, you do see people jump and hit the ball. I think a good metaphor, and who wrote that? Someone just said, yeah, I see it when Adam West. I saw Novak jump and hit the ball. Any athlete will do that. Basketball players will dunk the basketball. So it's like an exclamation point, but in my opinion, it's not something that's coached. It's something that you feel so comfortable, you're right in the moment, and then you jump and then do it to kind of ooh and awe the crowd in a way. Zverev just hits the ball wide, and I think that makes it game. I think it is now 5-2. No, it's add in. Sorry, that was deuce. My fault. But the thing and the game of tennis, when you jump and then hit, if you had to do it 100 times and then did a normal shot, keeping the feet down through the strike zone, hitting through the ball, paying attention to footwork, I guarantee you're more statistically beneficial staying down through your shot than it is running up to it, jumping, then hitting it. It looks great. It looks awesome. It looks amazing. Yes, it makes the highlight reel. But is it super consistent? No, especially if it's not, a sitter short ball. If you're doing that from behind the baseline, tricky to be consistent with that for sure. All right, so it's 5-2. Yeah, so 5-2, and Zverev will be coming out to serve for the hold. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see if I got an update for one of my kids' matches. All right, so one of my sons, Chris, who's my 15-year-old, again, he is in a final of a boys 16 and under open tournament about an hour away. I could not go because of my knee. So I blew out my knee in a tennis match. 20 Today's day 15 since the surgery, so 25 days ago. So I have been grounded for 25 days. So I ruptured my patellar tendon. So the doctor advised me my last appointment, which was yesterday. I asked him, I said, man, I'm getting my stitches out today. Does that mean I can like hobble to my kid's tennis tournament? He's like, no, the risk of fall is too great. So I stayed here. So here we are. Zverev serving. Wait a minute, what happened? Oh, that's a replay. This is not live. I was about to say. Yeah, it's a replay. They're just showing errors from Zverev, which have been not uncommon at all. But yeah, so my 15-year-old and my 17-year-old are both in finals of their respective tennis tournaments. So Chris, Carla just indicated, is up 1-0 in his final. So if he wins this tournament, it's a big win for him. The draw was big. A lot of good players from all over the place, Florida, Georgia, and some other places. So hopefully he gets a win here. He's in the final. All right, so Zverev serving at 15 love. Here we go. Good looking first serve out wide. The swing volley. He executes the serve +1. He went for the jumping swing volley. Okay. And there's his gold medallion hanging out of his shirt. With the headband, it makes you look rico suave, but the tennis just isn't. And that was a risky shot. If I was his coach, even though we made that point, I'd still yell at him for jumping at that swing volley. I don't need it. Oh, good serve by Zverev. Thiem with the deep return. Zverev picks it up off his feet. Thiem hits it long. Nice. Here we go. All right, so Zverev serving at 30-15. He just misses his first serve. Now here he is with the second serve. Can he get it in? Let's see if he gets it in. Come on, let's go. Oh, and the loopy push moonball serve. I'm surprised Thiem didn't crunch that. Somehow Thiem still ended up on defense. Thiem still on defense. Zverev had the X. Oh, he did it. He put it away. I thought Zverev was going to get it back to him like he has all match long, but he took it. So 40-15. Zverev serving. Zverev could have finished that point a lot earlier. He could have had him up the line on the first or put some heat on that or put some heat on the shot by strengthening up his body a little bit. Serving at 45. Up the tee. Thiem's backhand chips the return. Neutral right now. Thiem's a little bit on defense. Thiem's on the run again. Defensive. Puts the ball in to the Zverev feet. Thiem cranks the one-hander cross court up the line by Thiem for the winner. Great point there. And that's where Zverev is vulnerable. Sometimes you see Zverev and he's in this perfectly neutral position. I mean, he's got every lane opened up for him, and he just gives the ball back to his opponent, and only to have it thumped cross court to put Zverev on defense. Runs him to the forehand side, then Thiem steps into that shot and thumps it up the line. So here we go. Zverev serving at 40-30. Nice serve up the tee. That's game. All right, Mr. Linguini Noodle. Let's see what you and that orange headband can do. Can you deliver the goods? I don't think so. So 5-3, Dominic Thiem is serving for the match. And in my opinion, my energy level right now, if this was the Australian Open, is not even close. But Carla and I can't risk doing the Australian Open shows for the tennis racket giveaways. Because again, we give away tennis rackets and stuff. So I can't risk doing the Australian Open shows live, because if it cuts off, I'll never know it. Our reception here just bites. All right, neutral point. Oh, Thiem just pulled the squeaker up the line. I think that was a little bit of luck involved. So Thiem starts out his first point of his serving for the match. Down love 15. So we get asked all the time, well, why don't you do it live when we do our shows? Every time we try to do it live, it never works as good as it has today. It always just stops, or you can't see it. The pixels are all distorted. So we have to record them so we can keep up with the prize giveaways. All right, so Thiem, I don't know. I don't know if this is one of those, Vince McMahon behind the scenes WWF scripts. Let's see if Zverev can get a break here. Sure would make the crowd happier, right? Okay, neutral point. Oh, Zverev is definitely on defense. Thiem comes in behind it respectively. Overhead, gives it back to Zverev. There's the same pattern again and cleans the point up. So it is now 15-all. Thiem serving at 5-3. So that was a love 15 point. Thiem serving. Any opportunity, if you look at Thiem, how he's developed, any opportunity you see Thiem to step in and to become offensive is much, much earlier than it has been in 2 years for Thiem playing on tour. Thiem's been playing for longer than that, but the last 2 years on tour. You have seen him transform into a man, playing man's tennis, stepping into the ball, eating it, like a dog biscuit given to a rabid dog that's got rabies. He steps into it, owns the ball. It's like I tell my boys, you see that ball? Don't wait for the ball. Go hit the ball. Don't wait for the ball. Don't let the ball come to you. Don't let that ball bully you. You bully the ball. Go get it. Thiem does that now. Zverev does not. He tends to wait. He tends to hit the ball and retreat. Hit the ball, stay 2 feet behind the baseline. Instead of taking some of his well-hit shots and coming in behind them, Thiem does that now. 30-15, Thiem serving. Nice serve out wide. That was an ace. So Thiem now has double match point. And I agree with you, Adam West. A bad season for Zverev, and it has been. I get it that he's here in this final. And I have conspiracy theories for that as well. Let the little girls take Instagram pictures, whatever it is. But there's a lot of players, in my opinion, that are equally as good, if not better than him, that aren't in the top 20 right now. That's it, I think, guys. So Thiem for match point. Nice serve, got the easy return, +2, and it was over. So, yeah, I mean, again, a good match, a good tournament. And I've enjoyed doing this one a lot. I really and truly have. So I guess tomorrow we will see Thiem play Stefanos Tsitsipas. That should be a really good match. I think it's going to be 2 fresh tennis players. They're both young. We can't make excuses saying, well, their bodies aren't, completely healed, or how much energy are they really going to put into this dogfight. I guess if I had to pick a winner there, I would still lean towards Dominic Thiem. Wasn't Murray skinny when he started playing tennis and put weight on? Murray was kind of wiry in a sense. He was always kind of really shredded and ripped up, Adam West. He always had legs on him. As he grew into manhood in a way, yeah, he was more stocky up top. But Murray always had those big soccer legs. So as coaches, one of the first things we do is we want to look at legs, at calves. We want to look at quads. We want to look at hamstrings. We want to look at lateral movement. We want to look at footwork and how the feet prance and dance, happy feet off the ground. We want to see if you can run like a deer and dance like a deer, or if you're running like boom, 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 boom. We don't want the boom, 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 boom feet. We want to just be kind of prancing like a deer, just kind of graceful around the court. So that's what we look for. Murray never really had that. Murray kind of always boom, 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 boom. And you look at Federer, in his heyday. You look at some of the older films that we watched when I was a kid. Like look at Maureen Conley, Lil Mo. If you can find some film on her from days old, she has such graceful feet. Anyway, I didn't mean to go back to Little Mo, but when we were kids, my dad had all these films on 8mm and all these other films, and he would make us watch some of these young ladies and men in long trousers and long white skirts, and bonnet type hats on that would play in black and white, and you could hardly see the matches because the reel was like dee dee dee, and there was no sound. But he would always say, "Look at the feet, look at the grip, look at how they place the shot. They're not worried about ripping their wrist around. They're not worried about hitting the ball behind their ear and head. They're picking their spots. They're finding their opportunity to come in with the right strategy and ending the point when they're supposed to end the point, and not retreating and grinding the ball off the back foot all the time." So that's how I was raised into the game. Was always from a classical, let's get the match over with perspective. Let's not be dumb about it. Let's not approach on the wrong approach shot. Let's not play defense when we can be on offense. But you see a lot of that in the game today. Why? I mean, I can go on and on about this for a very long time, but number one, strings. Number two, rackets. When I was a boy, I grew up in Southern California, and I started playing with a Davis Woody, and I think my second Woody was a Bancroft Woody. The third racket I had was Jack Kramer autograph was my third racket, and my dad wouldn't let me play with any other racket until I won my first tennis tournament. So once I won my first tennis tournament, then I was given a Wilson Ultra 2, which still was a standard head, and it was made out of, I think, graphite and Kevlar like the original Pro Staff. So I played with the Wilson Ultra 2 until I won my next kind of chain of tournaments, and I think at that point it was like 10 and unders. So once I won like my next tournament or my next three or whatever the goal was, then I was able to get a racket like my sister's. I was like, yes, let's go. I get to get a Niesel. So my sister was sponsored by a racket company called Niesel. It has like a red star, like a 5-point red star. They made skis as well. And I was like, yes, let's go. I get to play with a Niesel. But I was so young, and I just wanted to play like her because she was much better than me at that point in time and winning tournaments like all over the country. And I thought I was going to get a Niesel, but instead of getting a Niesel, my dad gave me the original Wilson Pro Staff. And I think I was probably maybe 12 or 13 at that point in time. And I played with the original Pro Staff. Wow. For probably, let's see, after the original Wilson Pro Staff, which was an 85 square inch head, I think my next racket after that was a Wilson K Factor 90. I think it was. And that was a long time after. No, it was a Wilson Encode 90. So I went from the Pro Staff 85 to the Wilson Encode 90. Like Justine Henin played with one. It was kind of like orange with the white on the side and had some like orange letters underneath the head. And then after that, I switched to a Babolat Pure Arrow, and like the same racket that like Nadal's played with his whole career, and I've never changed from that. I've always hit with the Babolat Pure Arrow for at least since 2007. I got a Babolat stringing machine in 07, and I got 5 rackets with the machine. So yeah, since 07, I've played with the Babolat Pure Arrow. So I've played with every racket from a Woody and transition into the new. And I can tell you that I've had to adjust my game because of that. So if I had a Woody, or if I had the standard Pro Staff 85, or if I had the Wilson Encode 90, I still would be able to serve and volley. I still would be able to hit and move forward. I didn't have to worry about so much wicked spin coming back from my opponent and jumping over my head. I started seeing a lot of that in the early 2000s, namely with textured strings coming about and bigger racket heads. So I mean, now granted, when I was a junior, they had the Prince 110s and the Tricomp 110s and the Wilson hammers with rollers. I mean, I went through all that stuff, but I never played with it. We were always generally from the 78 square inch frame head size to the 90 inch kind of mid plus size, and that was it. So anything outside of that was just a paddleball racket to me or any of the coaches that grew up along with me. But the game has definitely morphed into more of a baselining game, not because the players want to do that, is that the players, they have to do that. It's hard to serve and then volley if your serves are going in at 144 miles an hour. I mean, think about it. If you serve, sometimes when you serve and volley, the better thing to do is to place the ball in your spot, because the faster the ball goes across the net, the faster it's going to come back to you. So if you're serving at 140 miles hours this way, then this person gets a racket on, it's going to come back. So you're not going to have time to get from the baseline to the prime real estate of volley territory. You're generally going to get caught somewhere by the feet, somewhere near the center service line or just behind three-quarter court area. So it's just a different it's a different world these days. However, just like in doubles, you do want to own your territory. You do want to step into the net. And you do want to take ownership of the net. You don't want to concede so much territory. So when I watch the match today with Zverev, hence the moral of my story, if you're consistently playing behind the baseline, 6-8 feet, unless your name is Rafael Nadal, and unless you can hit balls deep like Rafael Nadal does with his uncanny spin due to, again, the 100 square inch Babolat Pure Arrow with the RP and Blast strings, strung, probably mid 50s, maybe even closer to 56, 57, given that much spin and control. So I'm assuming the pounds, not kilograms, but pounds are probably up there around 55, 57, and has a solid bed of a hexagonal. I think RPM Blast is hexagonal, not octagonal. I think it's a hexagon of 5, like the pentagon. I think 5 is pentagon, right? Did I have that wrong? Yeah, octagon will be 8 sides. So, but anyway, here's a great poll question. I mean, if you give Roger Federer a wooden racket and you give Rafael Nadal a wooden racket and you put them on a grass court, who wins? Yeah, and Gene, I do remember David Nalbandian. I hated that he threw a racket or kicked the item at some poor line judge or umpire or ball person at a tournament. Once he did that, that kind of ended his career. I like Nalbandian. I always did like Nalbandian. Nalbandian used to be a nightmare for Federer back in his early days, by the way. Nalbandian was one of the greats, in my opinion. I think Nalbandian was equally as good as David Ferrer. I think Nalbandian was equally as good as, say, Tomas Berdych was. Nalbandian always had a problem with keeping his head straight. He would get flustered and freaked out, kind of like Zverev does, but Nalbandian was better. Did Nalbandian ever beat Roger? I think there was a lot of close matches. I don't know if – I think Nalbandian was kind of on the way. Well, no. I wonder what – this is a great question. I wonder what the head-to-head is between David Nalbandian and Roger Federer. I can't look that up. But that's a great question. Anyway, so but if you are going to be someone in this game, this age, with the backs and the technology, you can't tell yourself that I'm going to continue and play 3 feet behind the baseline and I'm going to be the next David, or I'm going to be the next Rafael Nadal. Just like Dimitrov tried to play Federer's game, and you're not Federer. So these players that do this give up 8 feet of real estate every time they play a match. I mean, I'm looking at highlights right here. Zverev. Zverev is running balls left and right, laterally behind the baseline, laterally. He's not cutting the ball off. He's not making an opportunity. He's not making it a point to go forward. Lateral, 8 feet behind the baseline. So here's the center service line on the baseline. He's way back here. Lateral. As soon as he hits one short ball, Thiem comes in, crunches it, puts Zverev completely on defense, and he knows that he's going to get an easy volley, so he comes in behind it and puts the ball away. So why Zverev continues to play like this, I don't know. I don't think Zverev ever has a chance at winning a major as long as there's just one well-coached person on the other side of the net that can hit 8 or 10 balls back and forth. I mean, you can play defense against Zverev and win as long as you have an elementary tennis mind that tells you, I got a short ball, move forward. No wonder why Lendl brought his puppy out to the court. Geez, I would have had to bring my puppy too, because if I went and brought my puppy to the court and I had to coach Zverev, I probably want to gnaw my finger off. Jeez. Giving up so much real estate. Come in, get the ball. Man, if that was my son, gee whiz, I don't know what I would say. I would just be mad though. Nalbandian beat Federer at the ATP World Tour Final. Great stat right there. Let's go, Adam West. Let's go. Let's get down. Stat of the day right there. Pat, it's 11-8, Roger? You wait a minute. Nalbandian beat Federer 11-8. No, that's real. Statman Pat, Gene, check that. That real? 11-8? No, really? If I use my phone, because I'm using the hotspot from my phone to do this, if I look it up, I'm gonna be wrong. Roger won 11 and Nalbandian won 8. All right, Statman Pat, let's go. Love that. Let's go. I'm surprised Nalbandian won 8, but yeah, I would like to see how many times Nalbandian beat. I was same brainwave, bro. I was just thinking in my head. I think that Nalbandian owned him until a certain point in time. Statman Pat drops the knowledge right there. Nalbandian won the first 5 times. Let's go. Man, Pat, that's how we roll. Let's get down. I'm hot now. I'm gonna take this shirt off. Hold on, really hot. Hey, let the gray hair out. Right? But seriously, think about it. Think about it. How can we continue to jump on this Zverev bandwagon? How can we sit back as hardcore tennis fans or players or coaches and even begin to pretend that Zverev is going to be, or he's one step short of being a great player? You just can't. If again, I'm not going to repeat myself a million times, but if you were playing tennis from 27 feet behind the baseline on return of serve, and then when you get into the point, you're still halfway back there, maybe not 337 feet, but still like a whole lot of feet. I mean, first of all, it leaves you vulnerable from a drop shot scenario. Let's put Andreescu on the other side of the court. I think with Andreescu's variety, and I kid you not, I think Andreescu could beat Zverev as long as they didn't serve the ball into play, because that's where men's tennis throws the women's out the door because of the serve. But if you put Andreescu on one side of the court and put Zverev on the other side of the court, neutral, lined them up, center hash mark to center hash mark, just like drilling kids playing king of the court out at the club where we coach, where I wish I was back. Stupid knee. But you square them up. Center hash mark, center hash mark. I'm feeding balls from the net, oscillating between who I feed it to, baseline, baseline. 3 or 4 neutral balls, so the ball goes live, and then hey, the ball's live, play the point out. I think Andreescu does beat Zverev simply because she has variety. If obviously again Zverev had to serve and Andreescu had to defend against that, it wouldn't happen. Level playing field, neutral, underhand, feed the ball in. I think Andreescu wins without the serve, and that's just fact. All right, let's see. Now, Nalbandian choked a lot at Grand Slam levels. For example, at Australian Open 2006 semifinal against Marcos Baghdatis. What year? Okay, what year did Marcos Baghdatis make the final of the Australian Open, and who did he lose to? Didn't Roger Federer play Marcos Baghdatis that year and the Australian Open? Didn't wait a minute. Okay, so yeah. That year, 06, I think Roger Federer met Baghdatis in the final. And I think that this is the kicker. I think that Baghdatis' coach was Peter Mouratoglou at that point in time, kind of the first player to put Baghdatis on the map. Am I wrong about that? I think I'm right there. I may be wrong, so don't hate on me if I'm wrong. But I think David Mouratoglou, I think some of his first players, oh man, oh geez, who were some of his first players? Some of the tall guys, some of the big servers. I think was Ivo Karlovic one of Mouratoglou's first players. I think the mighty Evo might have been one that's still playing today. Geez, I forget some of the rest of them, but nonetheless, I think Baghdatis was Mouratoglou's kind of bread and butter player that finally, boom, put him on the map as kind of a genius type coach. Roger Federer defeated Baghdatis in the 2006 final 5-7, 7-5, 6-0, 6-2. Yeah, nice. Dropped the shaky first set, put Baghdatis on the ropes in the second, and then destruction time. Great job there, Statman Pat. I'm surprised we pulled that out. Great work there. That's research of the day. So that's, and Marat Safin. Someone just put Safin here. One of Carla's favorite tennis players to show again, we teach others, but we teach our 5 kids as well. And 2 of the oldest are boys, and we teach them a little bit differently than others. I think there's an entertainment aspect of coaching other kids and other people's kids. You want to make them having fun. You do want to work them hard. You want to be, better than any other coach around. I get that, but you don't want to demean them. But sometimes we'll kind of get into our kids' face and be like, when no one's around, obviously, and kind of let them have it. But there is one player that Carla always likes to show our boys, especially when it comes down to getting rough and tough on the tennis court, and that's Marat Safin. So I would agree 100% with you. So anyway, man, I got to go. This has turned into an hour and 20 minutes. I've enjoyed it a whole lot. I will definitely attempt to do this more. Again, if you are just tuning into this, we are Carla and I. Carla is my wife, who was a former pro WTA player. Well, she played through challengers and futures, never on the WTA circuit. At that point in time, it would have been the Virginia Slim circuit. But because I blew out my patellar tendon and I'm sidelined, I haven't been able to coach. My doctor won't even let me go to a tournament in a wheelchair because he says he knows I'll get active and jump off my feet, and my risk of falling is high. But we generally do a pre-recorded show. And then do that show and then kind of download the show and then play it later on. Again, we live on this small barrier island on the coast of Alabama. I think you can even there's water there. And there's like a 2-mile bridge that we have to drive over to get home. So when I'm usually up and active, we're coming in the door late. We're just getting done, teaching, coaching, and we kind of write results and do kind of a pre-recorded show, then download it. And we don't want to get into one of the shows and then lose connection, and that's happened to us a lot. But definitely, I'll plan on doing this again. I'm going to sign out, but remember that if you're watching this now or you're going to catch it later, if you stay tuned for our pre-Australian Open shows, right? Maybe a week before the Australian Open, and especially right when the Australian Open draws come out. Carla and I will ask all subscribed viewers to make a fantasy team. Whoever wants to play, the deadline is when the first ball is struck. You have to select 8 players. 4 players can only be seeded, not ranked in the world, but seeded once the draw comes out. Seeded, you select 8 seeded players, 4 of which can only be in the top 20. The other 4 must be outside of the top 20. Now, every player you want can be outside the top 20 if you wish, but you could only have max 4 that are seeded inside of the top 20. The only difference is those that you select seeded outside of the top 20 are worth 2 points per match win, and those that are seeded inside the top 20 are only worth 1 point per match win. So a lot of you that won the fantasy teams last year didn't have the best teams per se, but you had the most players seeded outside the top 20, and therefore you won. So for the Australian Open, for the fantasy teams, we always give away 2 sets of YTEX strings or YTEX shirts or 5K tennis shirts, your choice. And then for the tennis racket giveaway for the Australian Open, we're going to give away this YTEX V-Cord 97. I put a fresh foundation grip, which is the grip underneath the overgrip, and a new overgrip on this racket. And I strung it with YTEX Strings Pro Tour Black at about 52 pounds. So we'll be giving this racket away for the Australian Open. And how you will win that is by predicting the men's finalists and the winner of the Australian Open and the women's finalists and winner. As long as you get both finalists and at least 1 or 2 finalists, we always make that determination once the draws come out. Give away a $200 racket. It can't be terribly easy. We gave away a couple of rackets last year, so no worries. But anyway, take care. Much love to all of you. And I will see you next time. It may be pre-recorded. It might be live. But for now, much love. Peace out. Take care. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. And hopefully Zverev works on his net game and his approach shot because that was ugly today. Peace.